Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Destiny Godly. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'm a makeup educator. I've been doing makeup here on YouTube for over 11 years. It's crazy. But I focus on makeup for dark skin over 30. I want to teach you guys how to elevate and magnify your beauty naturally. Okay, so today's video is going to be 6 concealer mistakes I want you guys to avoid. Okay, we all start somewhere. I got my knowledge from making mistakes, and you guys are gonna get your knowledge the same way. But if I can help you along the way, then my goal has been met. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Number one, I think people are pretty much just purchasing the wrong color, the wrong finish. I think a lot of times you guys are skipping color correction. All of these things are so important when it comes to wearing concealer, especially under the eye. You know, when you go in on your face, a lot of times you're just reinforcing an area that's popped through, so you can use a skin tone concealer. But even there, skipping color corrector is a no-no. Generally, I like to apply my foundation and then my color corrector. This makes everything so much easier. You just go in and you balance out the residual darkness that your foundation didn't cover, and then you use a little bit of highlighting concealer. We're going to talk about other mistakes that work hand in hand with that mistake that is going to revolutionize your under eye concealer. So with that being said, I definitely think a lot of people are just going in and you're getting a concealer that is too pale, too ashy. It doesn't have enough undertone. That also goes in with color corrector. And then number two, you're layering wrong. A lot of people go in, they do their concealer, they do foundation on top. Sometimes they end up doing more concealer. I don't really know what happens when you are layering or when there's color peeking through, like I said, with color correction. But I really think that if you're not already doing this, you should really try to do your foundation first and then do your concealer. So I would go foundation, a little bit of color corrector, concealer, that's the color of the center of your face, and or a little bit of highlighting concealer. This can sound a little bit confusing if you're new to makeup, but if you are, I have a class in my bottom bar that will help you understand exactly what I just said, and hopefully I didn't confuse you too bad. Number three, I think a lot of times we're just placing our concealer in the wrong spot. If you have bags, you are going to want to focus your concealer in a completely different way than you would if you have dark circles. And that also goes to say, if you're just using concealer for highlighter, those techniques are going to be different as well. For highlighter, I recommend starting with a small triangle and blending out just a bit, not starting with a whole triangle. For circles, I recommend color corrector and then dabbing your concealer in the area where you need the correction. When it comes to bags, you're going to want to trick lighting. So that's going to be a paler concealer combined with one that's closer to your skin tone. You're going to take the paler concealer and fill in the hollow, and then you're going to take the one that's closer to your skin tone and take down the bright area of the bulge. Baby, it's a whole situation. You have to take into consideration why you're concealing your under eye, and then that will help you to figure out how you're going to conceal your under eye. Number four, you're simply applying too much product. We all watch Instagram and we all see these videos of people piling product onto their face for effect, for thumbnails, or whatever the case, bait clicking. Listen, you really want to start light and then build. I see a lot of people who are just starting heavy, just pile it up there first. Too much concealer can really make your face look cakey, and then if you put on powder on top of too much concealer, it's going to turn into a mess. You're literally like creating cupcakes under your eye. You got the flour, you got the egg, like you're mixing it together, it's getting gummy, it gets really sticky, it gets creasy and cakey, literally cakey, cupcakey under your eye. You don't want to do that. Number five is definitely something I want you guys to take into consideration. You, a lot of times, are applying your powder with the wrong tool. Now, I love a powder puff. I really do. But if you're going to use one and you have a dry under eye, you are not likely going to like the results. Okay? From using too much to using a puff, combining those two together is just going to be crazy. Not only are you using the wrong tool, a lot of the times you're using the wrong size. Like, there are people who are applying their under eye powder with a brush this big. I'm not going to say that I've never done it. I'm not going to say that I may not do it now, but I may just go in and soft set. If you're going in to like literally bake and apply very detailed under eye powder with this brush, especially if you're over 30 or if you have a dry under eye, or if you are using a concealer that dries down and then you're putting a whole bunch of powder on top, no go. I don't think your brush should be much bigger than this. You know, everyone's gonna vary and faces are shaped differently and whatnot, but I mean, your under eye is just not gonna be but so big. So really consider downsizing if you're having issues with the way your concealer looks after you set it, or if you feel like it's just getting too big, it's getting all over the place. Like, the very brightness or the brightest spot under your eye should definitely not exceed your eyeball. You're going to distort your face. When it comes to doing your complexion, definitely, like I said, starting with less and building. And then I feel like blotting is a step that I don't see a lot of people do. When we see oil or when we see too much product, right away we're jumping to powder. And I really feel like blotting is the golden step that could potentially really change the way you're applying your makeup, change the way it looks, change the way you feel about it. It could also really just help with the longevity of your makeup. Taking a 2-ply piece of toilet paper or a paper towel and just dabbing your face before you do your powder, or maybe even instead of doing your powder. All right, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Again, I will have my class linked in the bottom bar if it's something you want to check out. It will completely, like I said, revolutionize your makeup game. Truly, there are so many little simple steps that come together and create a flawless beat. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You guys don't want to miss out on these new videos that I have coming. All right, so as always, I want to thank you so much for commenting, rating, and subscribing. I'll be in touch and hopefully you'll do the same. Bye, guys.